Today we're going to be talking about percentages. Now when it comes to percentages, we're all very used to charging our phones, charging our cars, charging any electrical device. Now for example, we're just going to say that this car here has been charging at the charging dock and it is 70% charged. We've often seen that on our devices, especially if we're using this device to watch these videos. We can see that there's a percentage of charge on this device, and when it gets to a low percentage we know we need to charge it. A percentage is anything that is multiplied by 100, because a percentage always starts as a decimal. So this decimal right now is 0.7 if we were to write it as a decimal, and we multiply that by 100 to get 70%. In the process we moved our decimal point 2 places when we multiply by 100. We can convert this percentage into a fraction. In order to do that we need to convert it back into a decimal. So we have 0.7. 7 is the same as saying 7/10. So we're going to write that down, 7/10. Now we're going to divide it again, because 7/10 is the same as saying 70 100ths. So we have 70 100ths here, and that is our fraction. And we can convert that now and bring it back to 7/10, and that would be the percentage equivalent or fraction of what this car has been charged. Now in order for it to be completely charged, this car has to be 10/10. Now if we can see the connection here, we can also say that the car has to be 100 100ths out of 100. These both equal the same thing. At the moment this car is at 70%. How much percent does it need to get to 100%? 100% is when we are fully charged. Right now it is at 70%. We know that we need 1.00 as a decimal to get this car fully charged. So we're going to take away 0.7 to find out how much we need in order for it to be 100%. Let's go. So let's take away 0.70. Okay, 0 take away 0 is 0. Let's cross this off, change it into a 0, and we're going to bring this over into the tenths. So we're going to say 10 tenths, which is the same as saying 10 over 10, take away 7 tenths. So we're basically taking 7 tenths away from 10 tenths. It's the same thing. And we get 0.3. And if you look here at our charge, when we take 10 tenths and take 7 tenths away from it, we get 3 tenths. 3 tenths can also be 0.3, and multiplying that by 100 to find out 100%, it would equal 30%. So we need 30% more electricity to charge this car to 100%. Say for example I have a test, and on the test was 10 questions. My teacher looks at my test and she gives me 2 out of 10. In this instance I only got 2 answers right. We can write this now as a decimal. The aim is always to write it as a decimal in order to get our percentage. So here we're going to write our decimal 0.2. If we multiply this by 100, we can get our percentage out of 100%. 10 tenths would have been 1 as a decimal, and if we multiply that by 100, we get 100%. However, in this instance I did not get 100% of the answers right. I only got 20%. Let's say for example I had a test with 75 questions and I only got 61 of the questions right. The way I get this answer is I say 75 divided into 61, as it is doing here, because we have 75 questions, and I can get my answer. So I say 75 into 61 will not work. However, if I add my decimal point, I can divide. I know that 75 multiplied by 10 would equal 750. So I cannot use multiplication by 10. However, I'm going to make an educated guess by saying 75 multiplied by 8. I'm going to say 8 multiplied by 5 is 40. Let's add our 4 over here. 8 multiplied by 7 is 56. Add our 4, we have 600. I think that'll just be about right. So let's go 600. And we're also going to add our 8 here, because we did not get 75 into 61. We had to add a 0 to make 610, and we had to divide 75 into 61.0 for it to work. So let's go. We're going to take this away, and what we're left with is 1. We cannot divide 75 into 10. We have to go again. So this time we have 250, we have 75. So we're going to multiply 75 by 3 to see what we get. I think that's just perfect. Let's go. 225. If we know half of 50, we know that our answer is definitely 0.25. We're going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave my 3 here. I know that that is going to be the decimal that we have, and our decimal is going to be written like so. 61 over 75 equals 0.81. I'm going to leave it like that. And what I can do now is I can just multiply it by 100 to get 81%. So in my test I did not get 100%, which would be equal to 75 out of 75, but I did get 81% by getting 61 out of 75. And that is how we convert fractions into percentages. And again, to convert percentages into fractions, we would say 81 over 100.